Hello, welcome to the Lightning Zone. My name is Wendy Folsom.
I'm Amy White.
Today we're doing our segment called Befriend a Foreign Film. And the film we are going to be looking at is A Man Called Ove. It's a Swedish film from 2015. The movie was based on the popular book by Fredrik Backman, and the screenplay was written by Backman and Hans Holm, who also directed. Amy, what was your favorite part of the movie?
One of the most fulfilling parts for me, because there's so many favorites, it's hard to choose. But one of the most fulfilling parts was here. The white shirts came, in the middle of the film, and they're going to take away his family home, and they do win, and you're like, oh. But then you find out that Uwe has spent his entire life fighting the white shirts. And at the very end, guess what? They come to take that one white shirt that thinks no rules apply to him. Is going to come and take root, and he drives over, around the barrier, parks where he's not supposed to, and over the grass. And guess what? He loses. The white shirt loses in the end, and Uwe wins.
That was a great part. White shirts are what Uwe called anyone in a business suit or a professional, and he felt that they were mostly trampling over everyday people and didn't care so much about people, so he always had a thing against them. My favorite part of the movie was Sonia. She was Uwe's wife who had just died 6 months earlier from cancer, and she was just such a delightful person. She loved to learn and read, and she went through hardships in her life that he learned from. Sonia just kept going even when things got very difficult in her life. And Uwe spends most of the movie trying to rejoin her. He does not want to live any longer. But as he remembers back on her life and reflects on the way she was, she teaches him, even though she's not there, she teaches him to keep living and keep moving forward in life.
I'm right there with you. And she's so quirky. And just, she surprises me. She doesn't react normally, and I think that's exactly, he needed somebody that was like that. I also, one of my favorite things, anybody knows me, they know I love quotes, and I just write them down madly. And so one of my really favorite ones is when he says, "It's difficult to admit that one is wrong, particularly when one has been wrong for a very long time."
My favorite quote is from Sonia. She has become paralyzed, and Uwe has become embittered over this accident, and he's trying to sue everyone and get judgment and justice for this terrible thing that has happened. But finally, Sonia comes to him, and she just asks him to stop. And she says, "Either we die or we live." That's my favorite quote. So do we have any concerns about this film? I think very few. I felt like the narration came awfully late into the film. And Uwe starts to narrate his memories of his life, and it's not really set up from the beginning. And I also felt like they didn't need the narration, that they could have shown the flashbacks without it, which I think would have been preferred. I wonder, since the author was part of the screenwriting team, if he just had a hard time letting go of his very beautiful words. But I felt like it could have done better without the narration. Amy, how about you?
They could have maybe tightened up some of those backstories a little bit. Just, and I understand that, we are coming into a different culture with a different way of viewing movies, and that could be pretty normal in Sweden to have more of that build up and those soft wandering moments.
But how about the remake, the American remake of A Man Called Ove?
So, the cat. I'm sorry. The Americans needed to hire the Swedish cat. Not to be confused with Swedish fish. But the Swedish cat was the better actor when you compare the American with the Swedish. Because, that cat, they just did a much better job.
My only complaint about Otto goes back to Sonia again. Sonia is the heart of the film to me, and they truncated her story. They did not show as much of her, of the back flashes of her overcoming her accident where she was paralyzed, and how she truly did go on to love and so many people and help so many people. And they kind of made up for that lack of screen time with her actually appearing to him as a ghost or a presence or whatever, and asking him to live. But I felt like that was kind of a cheat and weaker storytelling. But it's a small complaint. It truly is a charming film.
Compare whether or not you liked Uwe or Otto better. I unfortunately feel like I know the American actor much better, and so I'm putting my own feelings outside of the movie on him, and had a hard time seeing him super grumpy, right? It wasn't terribly believable to me.
I do think Tom Hanks' performance was beautiful, but we don't know the Swedish actor, and he is so grumpy. He's just easier to get into that role with him, and we're not seeing him as anything other than Uwe. Well, that's it for today. Please join us next week for our next Lightning Zone, where we'll be discussing some other story code or story issue.
And always be wary. We're going to be giving spoilers.
We'd love to see you then.